Welcome to my candidates preview show right now. Welcome to my candidates preview show, that's right now. Oh yeah.
Our first candidate shall believe on. Levin Aronian, Armenia's greatest chess master since Tigran Petrosyan, is rolling into the candidates tournament right now with a lot of self-confidence and sky-high expectations. A lot of people have this guy pegged to be number one. They think he's going to take the tournament. They think he's going to face Magnus in November, wherever that thing's going on. Now, a lot of people think Levin is a favorite because of his form, and that's certainly reasonable. He's been in great form. He had a killer 2017. I think he won 2 super tournaments at least. And you know, like, there's another tip-off that you know he's really, kind of percolating, feeling good. The more confident he is, the brighter his pants get. And lately, his pants have just been burning out my retinas. He can't be stopped. The pants can't be stopped. They can't be toned down. And, that's what it is. But I'll tell you another reason why I think he's a favorite in this tournament. And it's not just because of his form, but it's because of the fact that the lineup looks very favorable. Traditionally, his 2 most difficult adversaries in tournament play, it's Magnus and it's Vichy. But neither guy's in this tournament. And Levin's, if I'm not mistaken, has scored wins recently against, I think, just about everyone here. He beat Ding in the World Cup. He beat Karjakin and Kramnik in Norway. I'm pretty sure he beat Wesley in St. Louis. This was all in the last, not 6 months, but within the last year. And he also had a game against Fabi in that time span that, I can't remember which tournament, but, he just pummeled him. And somehow Levin goofed it, and it was either a draw or Fabi might have even won. I don't remember exactly, but the general trend has been that he's been beating guys in this field regularly the past year. So this, if any tournament's ever lined up for him, this would be the one. No pressure, Levin. Next up is the American Fabiano Luigi Caruana. He's another one of these consensus favorite types. Probably the first and foremost reason he's generally seen as a favorite in this tournament is that he was actually the runner-up to the last cycle's candidates with Lawrence Trent as his manager. So you got to figure without Lawrence Trent as his manager, that's going to be enough to get him over the hump. So, just kidding, Larry. I think a lot of people are also picking him because they would like to see him win. I think a lot of people find the idea of a Magnus-Fabiano match to be quite titillating. I happen to be one of those people. I'll admit it right now. The interesting thing about Fabi is that, he's a prep beast. He prepares like no other. And that's what I think, that's why I'm going to disclose it right now. I got him winning the tournament. I called my bookie. I made a Money Mayweather kind of bet. I put down $1 million on the kid. I think he's bringing it home. And if he doesn't, they might start finding pieces of him in dumpsters around St. Louis. He's perfectly safe. Actually, what'll be interesting to find out, for Fabi's sake, is what the tiebreak situation is going to be. Because if it's a blitz playoff, that's probably not so good for him. But if I recall correctly, if I recall from last time, I'm pretty sure, I know they do this Sonnenberg Borner something, Burger Borner something. It's named after like 10 different German guys. Anyway, the last reason I think it would be great if Fabi does win is that it would be yet another triumph for America and a great opportunity to chant USA, USA, USA. Because nothing hard triggers the cucks like a good USA chant. USA, USA, USA. Ho! Remember when Hacksaw body slammed Yokozuna? That was like the most incredible moment of my childhood, man. Remember when Donald Trump won the presidency? It's like the most incredible moment of my adulthood. USA, USA, USA. Quick correction, actually, Hacksaw was the first person to pick Yokozuna up off his feet. Luger was the one who slammed him aboard the SS something or other on Independence Day. And yeah, he came down and the chopper descended from above. Steel plate forearm and then just boom. Anyway, what was I making this video about? Speaking of Lex, how about Alex Grishuk? I've actually got a good feeling about this guy in the tournament, and I'll tell you why. He's the only player, as far as I'm aware, that actually has theory named, like he has contributed to recent theory, and has lines named after him, which I think is kind of cool because a lot of guys, like most of the lines out there are named after much older players. There's not a lot of current active players that have lines named after them. So, and I'm not like an expert on, chess moves and things like that, but for those even less familiar than I am, the Grishuk line, or the Grishuk variation as it's called, is e4, e5 or c5, white goes out and smokes half a pack of cigarettes for 70 minutes and comes back in and the game continues. It's a very sharp line. It's highly theoretical and you've got to know your way around it. But Grishuk isn't a guy you can count out. I mean, he's got experience in the candidates. He played in 2013, I believe. He was not in the last candidates event, but he's played in this thing before. He's not going to, psych himself out or get too stressed, I think. So, he's as good a bet as any. So I got to be honest with you guys, it's getting pretty late here, and I kind of want to have this thing done by tomorrow morning, but I'm getting real tired. So I'm gonna hurry this up a little bit. As far as Karyakin's chances, I mean, he plays real solid. I don't like his chances. I don't think I was surprised he won it last year. I feel like of all these elite players, he's the least consistent. Maybe not the least consistent, but I think. What am I saying? I think of everyone in the tournament, he has the lowest peak rating. Maybe Grishuk. Although I would be surprised if it's not Karyakin. I mean, I didn't think he would win it last year. I don't think he'll win it this year. I don't want him to win it this year. Next candidate up for review is Vladimir Kramnik. He's the elder statesman of the tournament. Obviously a chess legend, former world champion. His credentials, his accolades, they are beyond reproach. As far as his chances this tournament, I'd say he's got some. I think he's kind of middle of the pack as far as, odds would go, I guess. He was the wild card picked by Aegon, FIDE, whoever was behind the wild card selection. And I think it'll be interesting because in some ways, he's been there, he's done that, and he was a wild card for this thing, so he's kind of playing with house money. And the way he's played the past year or so anyway, he's been very kind of whimsical and, kind of playing sort of offbeat. And so he could be a guy who's going to be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to throw weird lines out there. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to spice it up. And then we're going to have martinis, why not? So, but the funniest thing about this is that apparently Geary is like Kramnik's second, which is kind of cool. I didn't know they were like friends like that. But obviously I know Geary speaks Russian, so Kramnik of course speaks English regardless, but Geary's like half Russian, so kind of makes sense. But what's really funny is that just out of nowhere today, Magnus just like threw a shots fired tweet, not just shots fired, like officer down, like Officer Geary down. Magnus just like boom, and it was really random because like MVL, Geary like quoted something, or I don't know, MVL responded to like a chess site. Magnus was like responding to an interview that MVL did, where he just was like, yeah, you know, Kramnik's really smart. I think has the best understanding of chess or whatever. And then Magnus was like, pa. And then Geary's like, oh, Magnus is shook. And then Magnus was like, fuck you, Geary. You've never won shit. No one gives a fuck. And it was just like, whoa, like, bam. And I was like stunned. Like, it was quite the response. But it's funny because I think what Magnus is forgetting is that Geary is the reigning Reykjavik Open champion. And if I'm not mistaken, that is an empty spot, a very glaring empty spot on Magnus's resume. And that's actually been the knock on Magnus, is that, you know, yeah, he's won Tata Steel, and yeah, he's won Grinka, and he's won London, but he's never been the Reykjavik Open champion. And, you know, it's kind of a black mark on his resume that I think he's a little bit sensitive about. And, you know, Geary's really kind of trying to rub salt in that wound. I mean, Geary's the reigning Reykjavik Open champion. You know, Magnus is the reigning world champion, but, you know, when push comes to shove, Iceland has a higher quality of life per capita than, you know, all the world's countries averaged out. So, you know, I think Geary's kind of got the trump on that one. So we'll see how it plays out. Actually, what I want to see next time they meet is for Magnus to pick up Topalev's gauntlet and refuse to shake Kramnik's hand over the Geary incident. So I think chess needs that. I think that would be really special for this sport. Our next candidate is Ding Li Zhen, or Ding Li Zhen, or Ding Li Zhen. See, actually, I know how to pronounce Chinese tones, but his name is never written with the tone marker, so I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. But I do know how to pronounce Chinese tones. Okay, if you take away one thing from this video, that's really what I hope you take away from that. And as far as Ding's play, I mean, I think he's pretty good. You know, his name could be pronounced Ding Li Zhen or Ding Li Zhen. And depending on which tones, and depending on the way the tones go, is what the name means. Like Zhen is like people. Like if you're an American, you're like, well, if you're American people, you're 美国人, 美国人. That means like Americans. And then like Chinese people is like 中国人, 中国人. And in Japan is 日本. So Japanese people are like 日本人. So actually I've got to make one correction, because Ren can be one person, like an American person is 美国人, and then 们 is the like plural for people. So like, you know, I is 我, and then if you say like, we, it's like 我们, or like, you know, they, like 他们. So Japanese people would be like 日本人们. I'm pretty sure that's how they say it. 日本人们. I don't know, it's really late here, man. I don't know, but I like Ding's chances a little bit. I think he's capable of winning this thing. I don't think he's a guy, I don't think he's going to go on a tear against this field, probably. But I think he's a guy who could win it in the vein that Karyakin won it last year. You know, just hold the ship steady and pick up a win here and there. And, you know, obviously 2+2 can win this tournament. So, you know, and it'll also be really interesting to see kind of just how the Chinese delegation, like, sends him out. Like, if he's, like... So, I don't know. Good. Seems like a good guy. You know, friendly, humble, stuff like that. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that I do know how to pronounce Chinese tones. I just have to see what they are. You have to write them with his name. Otherwise, you know, I can't tell. It's got to be annoying from him. Because, like, the Chinese don't use an alphabet. Okay, let's understand this very basic point. The Chinese do not use an alphabet. Also, a lot of people think that their pictures, Chinese characters are just like pictures of like things, and that's how they know it's not pictography, folks. Okay, if there's another thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that Chinese characters are not pictography. You probably think I'm very defensive about this because I have Chinese things tattooed on my body. That's not the case. But actually, I will bet anyone right now, if you give me the field, I'll give you Ding. And if I win, if Ding doesn't win, wait, how's this work? If someone in the field besides Ding wins, you got to give me $200. If Ding wins, I will tattoo his name, like, I don't know, somewhere on my neck, like on the back, like across the back, just Ding there. So someone please take me up on that bet, because I could use $200, and I could also use a Ding there tattoo on my neck. So I don't know, hit me up for that. Okay, our next candidate is Shak Mamadyarov, and I don't know, he's a pretty good player. He's been around a while. He's kind of had a resurgence lately. He's really come on strong. But I know he's also played in the candidates before, so this ain't his first rodeo, and I'm sure he'll be, tough opponent for anyone to beat. I actually think Shak. I'm hoping someone's just gonna come out like guns blazing, because I do feel like the candidates tournament has some poker-esque strategy involved where it doesn't really, it doesn't matter if you're second, third, fifth, sixth, seventh, like none of the other places matter but first. So you might as well do a strategy where, because if you just play like cautious and safe against the rest of the field, you have like a 1 in 8 chance of winning. Whereas if you play like real wild and try to get decisive games, like going one after another, it's almost like you got a 50-50 chance because, I don't know, because, you get the math, you get the idea. And I feel like Shak, I don't know, I'm kind of hoping he'll be one of the guys that'll just be like, I'm here, and I'm queer, but I'm, light the board on fire, get the decisive games going, and give yourself like a 50-50 chance, because if you win a few of those games, then you're almost certainly going to, be in the running at least on the final day. If you don't win those games, okay, you don't win. Your odds aren't that great of winning the tournament regardless, because it's, 1 in 8 chance if you consider everyone roughly equal. So, come on, man, light the board on fire. I don't know, if Shak lights the board on fire, I'll tattoo Shak Mamadyarov like across my chest. Actually, I'm not going to do that, but the final candidate is Wesley So. He's not lighting the board on fire, but he is from the USA, and I really want to get that chant going, so let's do this, Wes. Thank you for watching my candidates preview show right now. Thank you for watching my candidates preview show. Stay tuned.